Greetings, Lucky Legends. My name is Lucky. This is Lucky Lad TV. I am your host for this video, and it's time for a brand new series on the channel, Lucky's Top 7. And when Game Chomp is down here, because he's usually up north, when he is down here visiting, we'll probably do one together, and it'll probably be a debate. But basically, this is going to be a top 7 series. I don't like top 5 because I think that there aren't enough, and I don't really like top 10 because I think those tend to get a little bit long. I think 7 is ideal. 8 also works, but I like 7 because, official number of Lucky Lad TV. But again, these are my 7 favorite Pokemon. Make sure to, make sure to remember that these are all 100% my opinion. This is not a fact. It's just how I feel. But with that, I'm going to get on into this with number 7. Number 7 on my list is Sharpedo. Sharpedo is known as the brutal Pokemon, and it is a dual water and dark type. As you can see right here, Sharpedo is terrifying. It's terrifying. And it's, if you look at its Pokemon Ruby Pokédex entry, that's the first game that it was in, it says, nicknamed the Bully of the Sea, Sharpedo is widely feared. Its cruel fangs grow back immediately if they snap off. Just one of these Pokemon can thoroughly tear apart a super tanker. So, first of all, I love this Pokemon because it's a shark, and I am terrified of sharks. It is a healthy, loving fear type of thing, if you know what I mean. I fear them out of admiration for what they can do. And basically, so as soon as I saw Sharpedo, I fell in love with it because it was a shark. And once I read that, I decided to do a little research and be like, oh, well, what constitutes a super tanker? Well, in order to tear through a super tanker, I don't know what the exact science of it is, but those things are made out of multiple inches of solid steel, and to tear through one of those, that's completely beyond what any human or any living animal could actually do. So the sheer destructive power of Sharpedo absolutely blows me away, and I love it for that. And then it even got a Mega Evolution in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which was so freaking awesome. But Sharpedo is number 7. And now we're going to head on into number 6. Number 6 on my list is Ursaring. Ursaring is the Hibernator Pokemon. It's a strictly normal type, and if you read its Pokemon Gold Pokedex entry, again, the first game that it was in, it says, although it is a good climber, it prefers to snap trees with its forelegs and eat fallen berries. At first, I didn't really think much of this until I not realized, but remembered that forelegs for Ursaring are what we would think its arms are. It's the two ones closer to its head. And it prefers to snap trees with its forelegs. If you have watched the Pokemon anime, and that's the only real reference that I have for what the trees' size are, those are some thick trees. Like, they're legit. Those aren't twigs. And apparently he just likes to go around and snap those in half. So, the other reason Ursaring is on this list is because Gold and Silver were the first Pokemon games that I played. I don't remember which one I had. I was not old enough for Red and Blue. I'm only 19. And Red and Blue came out when I think I was 3. I didn't really have the coordination to do that. However, Gold and Silver came out when I think I was like 5. So I was able to, do things properly and whatnot. And I remember very specifically that I played through the game with an Ursaring on my team. And he was named Teddy, because, I was a young little boy. and I named him Teddy. But Ursaring will forever have a place in my heart, and it's also really dangerous in Wi-Fi. But yeah, that's number 6. Now we're gonna head on in to number 5. Number 5 on my list is Nidoking. Nidoking, it's known as the drill Pokemon. I found that kind of surprising. I would have thought that Rhydon would have been the drill Pokemon. It's dual poison and ground type, and it's Pokedex entry from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. Not the first game that it was in, but this one really caught my eye. Was Nidoking's thick tail packs enormously destructive power. With one swing, it can topple a metal transmission tower. Once this Pokemon goes on a rampage, there is no stopping it. So, couple things. First, the last sentence, once this Pokemon goes on a rampage, there's no stopping it. That is pretty much the same encyclopedia entry for the Marvel supervillain Juggernaut. The one for him says, once Juggernaut gains momentum, there is almost nothing that can stop him from destroying everything in his path, or something along those lines. So that really caught my eye. The other thing is, it can topple a metal transmission tower with one swing of its tail. Nidoking's not that big. Metal transmission towers are. So, just how that would actually work I just don't understand it, which makes it so terrifying. One of the biggest fears that people in general have is the fear of the unknown. And the idea of Nidoking, which I think is 4'7", toppling a metal transmission tower, which usually has like 3 anchoring points, which are probably at least like 20 or 30 feet away from one another. It's pretty freaking scary. But no, Nidoking's number 5, and now we're gonna go on in to number 4. So, now we have officially reached the halfway point of our Lucky's top 7 favorite Pokemon. And number 4 is Braviary. If you were around for my first channel, Aviator Storm, Braviary was my mascot. And the reason for that is because my channel kind of had a sky theme. So I went like, who's the coolest sky Pokemon? And Braviary is without a doubt my favorite. It is known as the Valiant Pokemon. It is normal and flying type. And one of the reasons that I love Braviary so much is because I teach self-defense. I've been doing martial arts my whole life. And the Pokedex entry for Braviary really reminded me of all the important tenets that you learn in martial arts. Because it reads from the Pokemon Black Pokedex entry. They fight for their friends without any thought about danger to themselves. One can carry a car while flying. The second sentence is just for fun. I don't know why they put that in there, but they fight for their friends without any thought about danger to themselves. If that is not integrity and honor, I don't know what is. And plus, America. Braviary is America. It's just so freaking cool. But that's number 4. We're going to head on in to the top 3. Standing tall at number 3, we have Golurk. Golurk is the automaton Pokemon. It is ground and ghost dual type, and its Pokemon Black Pokedex entry is, it flies across the skies at Mach speeds. Removing the seal on its chest makes its internal energy go out of control. So, I'm not entirely sure if you can see this, or how clearly you can see it for that matter. But if you look at the background, for each of these slides, it's been the Pokemon. For this one, I did something a little bit different. The background for this slide is fan art that I found on Reddit of Golurk as a Jaeger from Pacific Rim. I'll probably put the actual photo right about now. And as you just saw in the photo, Golurk looks exactly like a Jaeger. He really does. Most people don't even notice the difference. The other reason I love Golurk so much, and I mean that's really all I would need, but the other reason is that the second sentence of its Pokédex entry makes it a absolutely flawless candidate for Mega Evolution. Or for regular evolution. Who cares? Either one. The removing the seal on its chest makes its internal energy go out of control. It Mega Evolves. The seal goes away, and it's just freaking bursting with power. I mean, that's all you really need. But I really love Golurk. I think he's super duper cool, as I'm sure you can tell. But with that, we're going to get on in to number 2. Now, I know what you're thinking. How is Lucario number 2? He's your mascot. Lucario is not my mascot. Mega Lucario is. And this list does not include Mega Evolutions. This is just the Pokemon themselves. If it did include Mega Evolutions, the list would be entirely different. I would probably have Mega Gallade on here. Mega Lucario would be number 1. Mega Blaziken would definitely be on here. I'll probably do a separate Lucky's Top 7 for my favorite Mega Evolutions. But this is just regular Pokemon. Lucario is the Aura Pokemon. It is a Fighting and Steel dual type. And it's Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver Pokédex. Not the first game that it was in, but it sort of meshed together what it had in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. In saying, it's said that no foe can remain invisible to Lucario since it can detect auras, even foes it could not otherwise see. So, Lucario is one of the first Pokemon that really integrated a level of, how would I say, supernatural abilities. Like, if you think about it, being able to spit fire or conjure huge waves of water, like, that's obviously supernatural, but this is the first one that Lucario is so unique in its special ability. No other Pokemon in their Pokédex entries has something even remotely similar to this. Whereas there are a bunch of Pokemon that talk about how they can breathe fire or how they can lift stuff with their mind or whatever. Lucario is so incredibly unique, and it has such an amazing design. And that's why Mega Lucario is my mascot, because he's an even more incredible version of Lucario. If the Pokemon on my list that is currently number 1 gets Mega Evolution, I will probably change my mascot. However, until that happens, Lucario, you're number 2. But now, you get to see my number 1 favorite Pokemon of all time. Are you surprised? I hope not. Arcanine. Arcanine is such a freaking badass. It has so many uses in Wi-Fi. It's great in-game. It's the bee's knees. And here is why Arcanine instantly became one of my favorite Pokemon, and then once I started using it, completely became my favorite Pokemon. Arcanine's Pokédex entry for its species is the legendary Pokemon. Arcanine is the original legendary Pokemon. Before you hit Mewtwo or Mew or the legendary birds or anything like that, the first Pokemon in the first Pokédex that is legendary is Arcanine. And that is why I fell in love with him instantly. Arcanine's a fire type, and its Pokédex entry from Pokemon Silver reads, "Its magnificent bark conveys a sense of majesty. Anyone hearing it can't help but grovel before it." Arcanine is the absolute pinnacle of coolness and amazing. And IRL, it's the first Pokemon that I would think to want to have. Because it's a big ass dog. So you can train it like you can train any other dog. It can run at ridiculous speeds. I'm reading this from different Pokedex. I don't remember which one it was, but it says that they run 6,200 miles in one day, meaning one day and night. And I'm pulling up a calculator on my phone. 6,200 divided by 24. That means Arcanine runs at 258.3 miles per hour for 24 hours straight. If that's not the perfect thing to have with you, I don't really know what is. Because you could just ride an Arcanine wherever you need to go way faster than a car, way less hassle than an airplane, and it can run for 24 hours straight. I don't think there are any cars that can do that. But that's Arcanine. That's Arcanine. And with that, that is the end of my top 7 favorite Pokemon, and I'm going to get about. Best luck to you out there, and I will see you all soon. Goodbye.